You've done it 1,000 times. You reach over, run your hand along your cat's back, and they lean in, eyes half closed, purring, the whole picture of contentment. It feels simple, instinctive, two mammals sharing a quiet moment. But what's actually happening inside your cat's brain during those few seconds is one of the more remarkable neurological events that takes place in your living room on a daily basis. And part of it, the part that ends with a bite you didn't see coming, is something most owners have completely misunderstood. Let's start from the moment your hand makes contact. Your cat's skin is not like yours. Across their entire body, just beneath the surface, sits a dense network of sensory nerve endings far more concentrated than anything in human skin. The moment your fingers make contact, thousands of these receptors fire simultaneously, sending signals racing up through the spinal cord and into the brain. The somatosensory cortex, the region responsible for processing touch, lights up immediately. But that's just the first layer of what happens next. Within seconds of sustained petting, your cat's brain begins releasing a cascade of neurochemicals. The first and most significant is oxytocin, the same bonding hormone that surges between a mother and her newborn, between two people falling in love, between friends in close physical contact. Research has confirmed that stroking a cat triggers oxytocin release in both the human doing the petting and the cat being petted. Both nervous systems respond. Both experience the chemical signal of trust and connection simultaneously. What feels like a simple scratch behind the ears is, at the neurochemical level, a mutual bonding event happening in real time. Alongside oxytocin, the brain's reward circuitry activates dopamine. The neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation floods the nucleus accumbens, the brain's primary reward processing center. This is the same region that activates when humans eat something they love or achieve something they've worked toward. For your cat, your hand on their fur is triggering a genuine reward response. Serotonin follows, the neurotransmitter responsible for mood regulation and calm. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, begins to drop. Within minutes of a petting session, your cat's physiology has measurably shifted. Heart rate slows. Muscle tension reduces. The entire system moves toward a state of regulated calm. This is not metaphor. This is measurable biology. But here's where it gets more complicated and more interesting. Not every part of your cat's body responds to touch the same way. The head, cheeks, chin, and the area behind the ears are neurologically distinct from the rest of the body. These regions are rich with scent glands and have a specific social significance in feline biology. They're the areas cats use to mark things and individuals they're comfortable with, including each other during social grooming. When you scratch your cat's chin or behind their ears, you are activating a region of their body that is neurologically wired for positive social contact. The brain reads it as familiar and safe. The back and base of the tail are different. These areas contain the highest concentration of nerve endings in the cat's body. Touch there sends dramatically amplified signals to the brain. For some cats, in some moods, this intensity feels good. For many others, it rapidly crosses a threshold. Which brings us to the phenomenon that confuses cat owners more than almost anything else about their animal. You are petting your cat. They are purring. They are leaning into your hand. Everything looks like contentment. And then, without apparent warning, they turn and bite you. What happened is not aggression. It is not a mood swing. It is a neurological event called petting-induced overstimulation. And it is one of the most well-documented phenomena in feline behavioral research. Here is the mechanism. As petting continues, the repetitive sensory signals being sent to the brain begin to accumulate. The nervous system, which was initially processing pleasure, starts to reach the upper limit of what it can handle. The continuous input that felt good at low volumes becomes, at higher volumes, genuinely uncomfortable. Overstimulation is a neurological response where cats can start to feel pain in their touch receptors from too much petting. Surchospate, the cat's brain shifts from reward processing to threat response, and the animal does what any animal does when something is causing discomfort. It tries to make it stop. The bite isn't random, it's communication. And the cat usually told you it was coming. The signs come before the bite every time. Most owners simply don't know what to look for. The tail begins swishing or flicking. The skin along the spine ripples or twitches. The pupils dilate slightly. The ears rotate back. Searchosp. These are not subtle signals. They are the nervous system broadcasting that the threshold has been reached. The problem is that most owners are watching the purring and missing everything else. The reason this matters beyond avoiding a bite is what it reveals about how your cat experiences physical contact. Unlike dogs, who are descended from pack animals with strong tactile social bonding instincts, cats are biologically wired as solitary hunters. Social touch was not a core feature of their ancestral life. Every cat that tolerates petting, let alone seeks it out, has made a learned association between your touch and safety, comfort, and reward. That association was built over time, through repetition, through the accumulation of positive neurochemical experiences, which means the cat that chooses to sit on your lap and ask to be petted is doing something genuinely remarkable from an evolutionary standpoint. They are overriding instinct with learned experience. The bond is real. The neuroscience confirms it. There are also preferred locations that almost universally work well across cats. The top of the head, behind the ears, under the chin, and along the back are typically preferred spots. Oregon Veterinary Medical Association, because these areas are neurologically linked to positive social contact and avoid the high sensitivity zones that tend to trigger overstimulation. One area worth particular mention is the whiskers. Cat whiskers are as sensitive as your fingertips, each one connected to a dense cluster of nerves that send continuous information to the brain. Touching them sends signals the brain wasn't expecting and doesn't particularly welcome. Most cats will tolerate it briefly and then move away. Some react more strongly. It's worth knowing. The practical takeaway from all of this is not complicated. Watch more than the purring. The purring tells you your cat is engaged and the neurochemical reward system is active. But the tail, the skin, the ears, and the eyes tell you where on the spectrum between pleasure and overload your cat currently sits. When the tail starts moving and the skin starts twitching, the session is over. Not because your cat has turned on you, but because their nervous system has reached its limit and is asking clearly to stop. Respect that signal consistently, and something specific happens over time. Your cat learns that you are safe to be close to, that your touch will not push past their threshold, that the interaction will end before it becomes uncomfortable. That learned safety is what builds the kind of cat that seeks you out, that climbs into your lap unprompted, that brings its face to your hand and asks for contact rather than tolerating it. The neuroscience of petting is, at its core, the neuroscience of trust. And trust in any species is built one interaction at a time. If this changed how you think about the moment your cat asks to be touched, subscribe and leave a comment. Has your cat ever given you warning signs you only recognized after the fact? In the next video, we go inside what your cat's nose can actually detect, and the answer is going to change how you think about every room in your house. This channel is for educational purposes only. Always consult a licensed veterinarian for your cat's health concerns.